Energy systems are for most economies largely driven by the combustion of fossil fuels. During the combustion, the carbon and hydrogen of the fossil fuels are converted mainly into carbon dioxide and water, releasing the chemical energy in the fuel as heat. This heat is generally either used directly or used to produce mechanical energy, often to generate electricity or transportation. The energy sector is usually the most important sector in greenhouse gas emissions inventory, and typically contributes to over 90% of the CO2 emissions, and 75% of the total greenhouse gas emissions in developed countries. CO2 typically accounts for 95% of energy sector emissions, with methane and nitrous oxide responsible for the balance. Stationary combustion is usually responsible for about 70% of the greenhouse gas emissions from the energy sector. Approximately half of these emissions are associated with combustion in energy industries, mainly power plants and refineries. Mobile combustion causes roughly 1/4 of the emissions in the energy sector. The energy sector mainly comprises exploration and exploitation of primary energy resources, conversion of primary energy sources into more usable energy forms in refineries and power plants, transmission and distribution of fuels, use of fuels in stationary and mobile applications. Fugitive emissions tend to be diffuse and may be difficult to monitor directly. In addition, these methods are quite specific to the type of emission release. An example is shown below. This section shows the decision trees. Natural gas decision tree. Decision tree for crude oil production. Decision tree for crude oil transportation, refining, and upgrading. This section describes the methods and data necessary to estimate emissions from stationary combustion and the categories in which these emissions should be reported. Methods are provided for sectoral approach in 3 tiers, based on Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. Generalized decision tree for estimating emissions from stationary combustion. With close to 1 million vehicles registered in Trinidad and Tobago, mobile combustion is a major source of GHGs. Mobile sources produce direct greenhouse gas emissions of carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide from the combustion of various fuel types, as well as several other pollutants such as carbon monoxide, non-methane volatile organic compounds, sulfur dioxide, particulate matter, and oxide nitrates, which cause or contribute to local and regional air pollution. Decision tree for CO2 emissions from fuel combustion in road vehicles. Decision tree for CO2 emissions from fuel combustion in road vehicles.